Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. We're here again to give you all the information that you desire to know and which we believe that you deserve. I'm Ibrahim Shita.
Of course, good morning, Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on the show. There's a lot to discuss on this table this morning, and we'll definitely be serving you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am Ria Abdul.
I understand the aspect of the breakfast,
lunch,
and dinner. Now it has turned to 3-course meal.
All together. Well, high five,
Good
Brian.
to see you. Good
it's
to see
definitely
you.
going to be
How
a fantastic morning. There's a lot to discuss this morning. We're still strengthening ties with Brazil, and we're definitely still talking about it on the table. But like I rightfully said, we're going to do our newspaper review like we always do, and then we have a very, very intriguing interview session, and then we'll go to FCT for conversations in Abuja, and then we'll come back and we'll do what's trending, and we get to talk about everything trending all around the world. So please grab your cup of coffee and let's have a fantastic show. But we'll start with the story where President Bola Tinubu has held a town hall meeting with Nigerian residents in Brazil alongside Afro-Brazil descendants as part of his continued commitment to strengthening ties with diaspora community. Now, the engagement was coordinated by the chairman CEO of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa. Now, the high-level gathering was attended by prominent dignitaries, including the Speaker of House of Representatives, the Deputy Senate President, the Governor of Kaduna and Kano State, as well as the Minister of Information, Foreign Affairs, Science and Technology, amongst others.
Ajo de Babile, Eka Safawaka, Kasimafakon, Be, Kemi Be.
You definitely have to love the Koma Bodo Baje, Ejeka Sawakpo. That's where I can sing the song too.
You actually said that way more than he did.
I know, but it's just beautiful to see that him trying, and he did it. You know, you can see how the cultures are just strengthening together. And trust me, we are not going to stop talking about this relationship between Nigeria and Brazil because it's beautiful. I don't know if you saw the news yesterday, you know, the Minister of Aviation as well as Alain Oyema as well, you know, talking about the direct flights and everything. You can see that the president had this meeting. Abike Dabiri was there too as well. It's just beautiful to see that these ties continue, you know, being strong, and seeing this man singing the Yoruba song. It melts my heart. Yes,
and then, you know, when we sit here and then we try to paint the picture, the historical perspective, you know, of the relationship between Nigeria and Brazil, it is just as though one is, you know, saying some things that are not there. But that goes to show that where you have people who had been, you know, moved from the country, especially from Calabar, the southwest, you know, during the 1500s and 1800s, you know, during the transatlantic slave trade, where we had a lot of Africans, you know, moved down to Brazil. People exported their language, they exported their religions, they exported their, you know, culture and, you know, mores and all of those. And then you have the descendants who are saying that this is what our forefathers, you know, used to do. So we also have to, you know, continue in that strides. And then having the president going to Brazil, meeting President Lula de Silva, you know, on this ties, bilateral relationships, signing deals, and, you know, all of those MOUs. It goes to show that beyond talking about aviation, beyond talking about industrial revolution, beyond talking about you know, all of those things that have been signed, agriculture, etc., we are also emphasizing culture, which is very key. You know that people will always come to Nigeria during the Osun Osogbo Festival, during the Calabar Festival. They go to the resorts, different resorts in the country. People come to Lagos, the Dirty December. So when we have Nigerians in the diaspora, especially the Brazilian Nigerian, they will think, yes, we always have to come home. And you mentioned Alain Oyema. They tested the flight yesterday. You know, instead of going 22 hours, they flew for 7 hours, and that opens the space. So you'll have people who will now say, yes, I need to come back to Nigeria. What would I come to do in Nigeria? Not just to sightsee, but to invest, but to, you know, enhance or, you know, strengthen the relationship, the ties that we have with our roots.
Exactly. And Ibrahim, this takes me to, I always talk about this when we speak about this, because a lot of critics have also been speaking, oh, the president is always going around. I feel like this is going to be like, you know what, keep quiet, because now we are seeing the results of what is happening, you know, we're seeing how this has been strengthened. But we also have to speak on social media, where a lot of people are saying, I was reading a comment yesterday when someone said, so what does this flight do to me? And sometimes I'm wondering, like, are we really reading, do we really understand what this means? You know, that now you can go direct, and it's not just any flight, it's not, you're not using, like, you know, a flight that's not for Nigeria. You're using a Nigerian flight. Like, I feel like Nigerians do not also understand what this means for Nigeria, because when you read the comments on social media, how are you asking, oh, so what does this do for us? You know, we also have Nigerians in Brazil that want to come home, that now they can just come home directly, easy, and also flying on the wings of Nigeria.
You won't blame them, because when people fail to read, it's a problem. But it's our duty here to sit here and do our best to educate people. Even though some will still decide, they have already determined that they will never take anything that is contrary to whatever opinion that they hold in their chest, because their candidate did not win president. And then we saw that, you know, even some politicians are criticizing their hands, and so what and so. So what is he going to bring on my table? Not everything will land on your table immediately, because imagine Petrobras coming back to Nigeria. Is going to, you know, engender employment. It's going to, there will be skills transfer. And then Nigeria and Brazil, you know, back in the day with Indonesia, with Singapore, we used to be on the same level. You understand? So, but because of misgovernance, bad governance and all of that, the president had spent some time, you know, looking at, okay, where did we miss it? And then he started moving from one country to the other, opening up the economy. We are now seeing the gains in terms of, you know, the stability in the foreign exchange. We're seeing the gains in terms of people, investors, now expressing confidence in coming to invest in the economy. And there is no way we'll have these investors coming into the economy without it trickling down to the common man. But it's not going to happen overnight.
Over time. And Ibrahim, something that also hits me is the fact that when people don't have money in their pockets, the first thing they think is that all these reforms are not working. How do you explain to them that in a long run, when the investments start coming in, we'll all enjoy it at the end of the day?
Even some people will still not have money in their pockets if they are not doing anything. Think of what you do for your country, not what your country will do for you. What role are you playing as an individual? What opportunities are you seeking? What innovation are you bringing on the table? What are the things that you are also doing to help? You know, we have SMEs, you know, all around the informal sector. 80% of them, you know, running the economy of this country. People sitting there and thinking, yes, what are the things that I'm going to do? How do I, you know, get into business and, you know, get into transaction, not going into internet fraudster and all
exactly.
of that.
And if you ask me, I think it's high time that we as Nigerians, we sell Nigeria right. Because I blame Nigerians too as well. Because when we hear news like this, instead of us to support it, give the backing and all of that, we're either condemning it. Oh, what is it going to do for us? It's not going to do anything. It's not putting food on my table. But we refuse to see the bigger picture. And that's always been my problem. There is a bigger picture, you know, that we refuse to see.
So the thing is that there is little or nothing that, as I said earlier, there is little or nothing that you can do, you know, when it comes to, you know, telling these people these are the things that the government is doing. Look at Japan. It left Type 9, you know, to Brazil. There in Japan, he actually made lots and lots of, you know, signing MOUs, deals, and then Japan showing its readiness to invest in Africa. So if we have, for instance, let's have Marco Polo. Let's talk about Brazil for a little bit. We have Marco Polo being assembled in this country. We have Peugeot that had left this country, being assembled in this country. We have Volkswagen, you know, coming back to this country. Assembly plants. Everyone is complaining about the rise, the cost of, you know, cars, vehicles, and all of that. So if we are having all of these things coming into this country, these people that are saying that they are not seeing the results, if they are not positioning themselves, they will also be left behind.
True.
Because Africa, you know, we missed the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third industrial revolution. This is the fourth, and we can't sit by and watch this thing, you know, fly us, you know, push us aside. So what role are we playing? What are the things that we're supposed to do so that we'll also be not just, you know, we won't be part of the players, sorry, we won't be played upon, but we'll be part of the players making decisions. And that is what the president is doing.
And you know, the thing that I want to say to Nigerians, I feel like it's high time that we start spreading positive news about Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Honestly speaking, because you said something and I really want to stay on that. The government cannot do everything for you. You yourself, you need to play a vital role in making sure your country is great. So I just pray that, you know, we get to see the results of this and we get to see things, you know, just beyond now and look at the long term of it, and we start celebrating our wins in Nigeria, because only us can tell our stories ourselves.